All right, here we go. Good, good, good evening, everyone. It's another episode of 2Tall Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, 2Tall Hall, Derek J. Hall. This is my good, loyal friend. You don't got that many of them nowadays. So, Quentin, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Q. I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little tired today.
Yeah,
It's been a long day, but I'm good. I'm good.
yeah.
How are you
It's
doing?
it's it's been a long one. It's been a long one.
Yeah.
There's a glare, so I'm trying to use my big potato head to block that glare. You know, I'm the eclipse. I'm the eclipse.
You're the
So,
eclipse, but you got the light around you.
yeah.
That means that you're being shined upon.
Oh, don't try to butter me up, man. You got the job already. You don't gotta worry. So tonight
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about uh drugs in the black community. My co-host Quentin came up with this episode and he wanted to talk about it. And I thought it should come up because a lot of drugs have been, entered into the black community. How they try to enter what the FBI did. What did the FBI do? They introduced the black community to cocaine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely brought it into the communities.
Yeah, so I don't think we should ever not forget what's going on in our community. We should talk about it. So yeah, beyond the headlines, drugs, policy, and the black community, I'm gonna get things started. I already have a nice stuff. So in the Quentin, can you see me?
Yeah, I see you.
All right. And people at home, please take the time to like, share, and subscribe. Share this episode. Let's get the word out. Um, like it,
Please.
leave a comment. If you don't like something, leave a comment. Like you love something, leave a comment. All right. So in the 1980s, America watched black neighborhoods portrayed as war zones during the crack epidemic. Fast forward to 2010s, and addiction stories look very different on screen. The crack era had how it has the crack era and how it was shown in news and film, and it's different from how it was now. Um, but they use it in everyday for media. Back in the 80s, they talked about crack was portrayed, drug dealing was portrayed in New Jack City, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society. Um, so they paint a picture that it's okay to do drugs. And don't get me, I'm not no Nancy Reagan type, I'm not trying to, but why is it that, do you consider both are, in my opinion, I feel both are bad, but do you feel, Quentin, the black community is hurt more from weed, marijuana, or crack and cocaine? Well, crack cocaine.
Well, overall, I'm gonna say when it comes to weed, I'm gonna say even though weed falls in the classification as a drug, I don't think that it is nearly as hard on you as crack, cocaine, heroin, meth, any of the other things that have to be altered, cooked up, or whatever, what have you. I feel like weed is actually one of the safest, if you're gonna call it a drug, to use. It has minimal effects other than, it gives you the high effect or whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as health-wise, it has the least effects on the body. You are smoking it if you're smoking it, and so that can affect lungs. But even then, it's still not the same damage that cigarettes and things do. Now we have these new forms of marijuana that you can inhale. You can have edibles, there's oils, there's all different types of things that you can use now. And as far as like crack cocaine, there are people who still do, definitely people who still do coke. Crack, yeah, people who still do it, probably not as much as they did back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But I think things have kind of moved along now in the modern times to like pills and like perks and lean and meth, all kinds of other things now. We've graduated to new drugs. So, and those are a lot harder on you than weed, in my opinion.
But it's a dangerous thing. I look at these people on 149th Street here in Harlem, especially in Harlem, 125th Street. They be strung out. They be standing there just out of it. And I'm not looking down on anybody that has a drug addiction. But it's mainly, I see more, and both lives matter, but why is it that there's more blacks strung out than whites? I asked this question to our audience. I asked this question to you, Quentin. So there's a show, I'm pretty sure everybody heard of it, Snowfall. You've seen it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Snowfall, and the show's like The Wire.
Yeah.
If you contract with reality TV or news, if you contract them with real life and everything, you got to ask yourself, when you look at these shows, are we learning about the system or just consuming trauma as entertainment?
I'd say it's a little bit of both. A little bit of both. I mean, like the one that you mentioned, The Wire, that was a really good show. That was a really good show. I used to watch that. And what was that?
Can you believe something? And take away from 1 second.
Yeah.
Take away my black card. I never seen The Wire.
Never.
Yeah.
It's streaming, but it's a really good show.
Wait, was Michael B. Jordan on that?
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
he was a teenager.
And congrats to him on winning his award. He won for best actor
at the NAACP award.
Yeah. So, but please continue.
No, those were really good shows, though. The Wire was really good, and Snowfall was really good. I didn't see a lot of Snowfall, but I've seen a few episodes. I know the premise of the show. They were good, and they do depict real stuff that really does happen. I think it's true. I think we can learn something from those shows, even though they're a dramatization of street life and drug life and all that. There are things and aspects of those shows that you can learn from, like how it connects to the criminal justice system, and how, sometimes the consequences of using drugs beyond just the health issues that you can have, also the criminal side of it that you can face too. It shows those kinds of things. And I think it also, because in those shows, it goes kind of in what you were saying before about how it seems to affect Black people more. And I have many different theories on why it could be affecting Black people more.
Well, dive into it.
One of them for sure is, like you were saying, back in the 80s when the FBI was, it's not official, but we know it's true that they were pumping these drugs into Black neighborhoods, introducing these drugs into neighborhoods that didn't have these drugs. And then once you get hooked on that kind of stuff, you are hooked. So even though that was in the 80s, that has still transcended on through now. But another big reason I believe is that there's a difference in the way drug use is alleviated when it comes to Black people and when it comes to other races, specifically white people. Like when it comes to us, it's very criminal, and a lot of times the punishments are a lot more harsh. You might be in jail for longer for the same crime per se that somebody else who's white did, and you get a lot more time. So there's that. And then in the white community, a lot of times when it comes to drug use, it is seen as what it really is, or drug addiction is seen as what it is, which is addiction. And addiction is a sickness, something that you can't control. And so it's treated more gently. They're given a lot of times the opportunity to go to rehab and try to get clean, and there's just a lot more care given to help the person get better. Whereas in our communities, sometimes from us, but definitely from the criminal justice system and from the outer and greater society, is just like, look at them, look at that crackhead over there. You know what I'm saying? Just like shame on them. And it's not as much love given sometimes to help them get through that struggle. Because nobody grows up and says, when I grow up, I want to be a drug addict.
Yeah.
No one ever says that. No one.
I look at the homeless people and these people strung out on the trains, and I think to myself, where did they get in their life that they ended up there? Because that person could have been a fireman or a police officer or had a family. What makes them turn into what it is now? Life is a bitch. Life is an unpredictable bitch. And one moment you high, no pun intended. No pun intended. No pun intended. You're high on the mountain and everything's going good, and then you're panhandling on the trains. Two things. What is the difference to you? And again, people at home, join in on the conversation. Leave a comment. What is your different definition of a crackhead versus an addict?
Honestly, I really.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest too.
We asking the tough questions on this show.
I know that crackhead is one of those terms that we just use real loosely.
Yeah.
Especially in our community.
Especially.
But as I've gotten older and as I've become more compassionate with people, I really don't like calling people a crackhead. I might call somebody a crackhead in my head. You know what I'm saying? If I'm just kind of like really upset or really on one and somebody messed me up or has made me mad, I might call somebody a crackhead in my mind. But I really don't like calling people crackheads. Now, what the question was, what's the difference in a crackhead or an addict? To me, they are one and the same. What we call a crackhead is really just an addict, somebody who has the addiction has gotten beyond them to a point where they cannot control it at this point. And so I think they are one and the same. And I think that people need to be given compassion and need to be seen as somebody who is sick, who is ill, and who needs help. Because once you get to a certain level of addiction, we've all seen people who are addicted to things, but I've also had certain times in my life.
I'm addicted to Haagen-Dazs.
That's an addiction too. Sugar's an addiction, but different results though.
Yeah.
You may not be strung out on the street from Haagen-Dazs, but I've just seen some actual addicts in my life and heard some of their stories, and a lot more compassion needs to be given to them, because like I said, nobody wants to get to that level or wants to get that bad. And when you are that bad, you just need a lot. You need a lot of help and a lot of support. A lot of help and a lot of support.
I want to go back to our earlier conversation about TV shows and how they impact. I dislike how every acting role sometimes the black person is either a rapper selling drugs. Why is it that we're always limited to just selling drugs? Why is it that seems to be relatable? Because it's the truth, but does it have to be the only truth? No?
I think some shows and things like that are getting better.
Yeah, not to cut you off. I look at the show like The Chi. I love The Chi. But there was somebody on there who was selling drugs and everything, but he wanted to get out the gang life. He wrote a book. Well, he was in the process of writing a book, telling his story. That right there should lift somebody up. Somebody on the street corner. Okay, maybe I can get out of here. Maybe I can do this. I can do that. I want more positivity because not all black people sell drugs. There are black doctors. My cat trying to escape. There are black doctors. There are black nurses. There's black firefighters, scientists. But we don't talk too much about that. It's just always black people fighting, black people selling drugs, black people being shady. So why are we limited limited when it comes to acting roles. Black men cheating and leaving their baby mamas, but that's for a different episode.
I think the roles are getting better. Black roles are getting better
You
than
think?
what they used to be. It used to be just pimps, hoes, drug addicts, those types of roles. And I think we are branching out. We had a huge renaissance around the end of the 90s, early 2000s, when we had all these positive black movies that came out, like Brown Sugar and The Wood. And, there was just a host of, like, Why Did I Get Married? I mean, just a string of a lot of black movies that were positive portrayals of black people. But I think we're getting better with that. There are more out there. You do see movies and shows with a black executive or with black lawyers and doctors and all that too. I think sometimes the way our society has been set up and the way we've been taught and the way white people have been taught too, sometimes it may be easier for them to believe us in roles as drug dealers or drug addicts and things like that. And that has to do more with the way society sees us and the way that we are portrayed in society in general and the mentality that people have about us. And slowly it's changing, but it is going to take seeing more representation of us in positive roles. And even with reality TV, because reality TV is so huge right now, we're going to have to see more reality TV with people doing things, doing positive things, doing good things, and not necessarily shows like Baddies. I mean, not to shit on baddies and shows like that people love to watch, but it's not the best portrayal of us as a people. So we're gonna have to have more positive representation. But I think the roles are getting better though. There are more varied roles now than there used to be. Wouldn't you say?
I would agree. I would agree. And don't get me wrong, I'm still tuning in, but I just found it puzzling, going back to drugs. There's a lot of charges when you think of drug use, and some charges mainly will go more to a black man than a white man, but you got to understand, overall, addiction was never treated as a crime. Well, excuse me, run that back. Addiction was treated as a crime. It's always been treated as a crime. People don't see it as a illness.
Right.
There's been an entire generation of black men that have been incarcerated because of drug use. Most people who are on drugs in the black community, in that population, because they define black men or black people when they do drugs, and in the area, that area has an economic decline and it's already struggling with neighborhoods. Some businesses go out of business because of the drug use around the area, or people are stealing because they are addicted. And they're fiending for more. It's sad. And then let's talk about the YNs, the young generation. How does it affect them?
From what I've seen, it's kind of, there's two things happening. So you have the young ones who are inspired by what they hear in the music.
Yeah.
Like that. So that you have.
It fuels music for some reason.
There's definitely drug use all up in the music. Talking about pumping the perks and the.
You keep seeing perks. Is that a new drug? I don't know.
Percocet.
Oh, okay. You trying to be cute and make it. I don't do drugs. I'm addicted to Haagen-Dazs, like I said.
Well, the tricky thing about things like Percocet, Adderall, pills that people take, which are drugs, those you get through a prescription. So that's a whole different avenue of, you think when you think a drug addict, you think, oh, somebody strung out on the corner with a needle in their arm, or
Yeah,
shooting up or doing something like that. But now we've got these drugs like Percocets, Adderall, different ones like that that you can get a prescription for. You pick it up at a pharmacy. It's all legal. But then if you take it the way it's supposed to be taken, it's fine. But you start taking multiples and extras and all that, then you get more addicted. It has greater effects on you. I
yeah,
think, like I was saying, some of the young ones, they get some of that from the music, they hear it, and it makes them feel like, ooh, I want that life too. I want to do what my favorite rapper or singer is talking about in the song. Let me try that out.
yeah,
Just feel like I'm part of that lifestyle. But then something else that has happened too is that I'm sure it was going on right before COVID, but definitely after COVID, this whole fentanyl thing
yeah.
happened, and fentanyl
Oh yeah, right after
really
COVID, that shit hit
exploded.
every neighborhood.
Yeah, after COVID, it hit really big. So people are out there doing the drugs, but now the drugs are even more dangerous for a different reason because they've got the fentanyl in it. And so for some people, that you know takes some of them away from it and makes them not want to mess with it because they're like, no, I can die. Like literally, I can die from the most simple thing. And then some are still choosing to participate in it. So you got a little bit of both going on. Some less, some more.
You're absolutely right. The opioid crisis, which affects all race, including Black communities. We have a lot of rising deaths. Mental health conversations are becoming more open, and you got to think about, cannabis is legal in most states, and you know
Yes.
that plays a role. Do you think? I think weed is less harmful
Hmm.
than crack and cocaine, um, meth and stuff. I think we talked about this as well. It's also in the gay community. You know, uh,
Hmm.
I'm doing my best to not talk about that because there's a lot going on in Black communities, whether you're heterosexual or anything, but you
Hmm.
know, but a lot of people in the gay community do. What's that? Tina.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, meth. I always tell this story. I think I told you before. I met up with this dude. This was when I was 16, 17. I think you know this story. And
Hmm.
he wanted to party. So I was like, oh yeah, I definitely love to party. Oh, I love to have a good time.
Oh,
So he wanted me to come over. So I was like, you know me. Do you want me to bring anything? He was like, no, just come so we can party. And he sent the little emoji. Um, the emoji hat. So I'm coming. I see him and two other dudes hung out over there. I'm like, was this one of those dark parties, or you know
right.
it, and found out that party meant like meth. Um, and what's funny? It'd be some good looking dudes doing it.
Hmm.
They're in good shape and everything, and I'm like, wow, what would make you want to do this? Like, I don't know what people go through, and I'm not trying to judge either. But
Hmm.
what what makes somebody want to stick a needle in their foot, in their hand, to get a high? Like, I don't get it, and I don't know. I don't want to judge anybody, but I try to stay away from people who do that. I can meet
Hmm.
you outside. We can, talk from there. But yeah, I just wish them the best. You ever been in an experience where you came across somebody that parties and everything?
Yeah. So here's the thing, and I'm just gonna be real transparent here.
Oh wait, I know what you're about to say because you told me that I let you tell it.
But yeah, you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So I have used meth before, and I've done it more than once actually. We'll get there. But the first time that I ever did it, I did not know that I was doing it because okay. Like I've done little things as far as like druggy type things, but I've never really been like a drug person. You know what I'm saying? And so I was kind of naive, and you don't necessarily have to inject meth. You can also smoke it. And so that's how I had it when I had it. And I don't know exactly what I was thinking. I thought that maybe I was having some kind of cocaine that was being smoked, which in essence is actually crack. So, but anyway,
I'm like, yeah, why they got two names for the same drug? I'm just saying.
right.
Go ahead.
But it was but it was, the person that I did it with was somebody that I trusted, and so I didn't even know that this person did meth. So therefore, me trying it, I was like, well, I wouldn't have even thought that this is meth because I didn't think that he did that. But what I did experience though was the feeling of it, which speaks to why people can get addicted to it or keep on doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to endorse meth here, but it does make you feel amazing. It really does. It makes you like, there's no other way to put it. It does make you feel amazing when you are on it. It makes you feel amazing. The come down from it though is horrible. Like when you're coming down, feels terrible. Terrible, 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 terrible. But from the high of it, I understand how people can get hooked on it. And it is something that's very prevalent. It didn't used to be a thing that was really big in the Black community, to be honest. Like that was something that a lot of the white people did. And even in the gay community, that was more of like a white gay thing. Somehow it kind of spread over into the Black gay community and the Black community in general too. Um, but I think someone once said, why do people use drugs? And the simple answer is because they work. They make you feel good. But that's terrible because they also do terrible things to your body and they do damage over time. And if you have an addictive personality, it's definitely best. And if you know that about yourself, it's definitely best to stay away from anything that could possibly be addictive, And that includes alcohol, cigarettes, anything that could be addictive. If you already know you have an addictive personality, you should probably stay away from it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm gonna wrap things up. I have a small little thing, a little scheduling note I want to let y'all know. But before we wrap it up, we spent this episode talking about how drugs have impacted the Black community, the history, the policies, the trauma, and the change. But the truth is, Mr. Quinton and everybody else listening, the truth is that addiction doesn't belong to one community, Drugs don't check race. They don't check sexuality. They don't check income. They don't care where you live or what you believe. People always want to just censor it because like this saying that only Black people are on food stamps. No. White people are on food stamps as well. Some communities were criminalized, some were some were ignored, but at the end of the day, addiction is a human issue. I think we as a country, when it comes to drugs, we try to divide, this particular group does this and this particular group does that. But drugs don't divide us. They the way we respond to them does, and we have to, as a country, get better. I think it starts at the top. It starts at the government, but that's false advertising. But local therapy sessions and local help centers, city-based help centers in your area, um, hell, I even throw this out. Finding the Lord helps as well, um, finding something to believe in that will make you put that pipe down. Now, if you're the type of person that you can do cocaine, go to work, come back, and have a normal life, that's fucking amazing. But I just don't see it. So, but you know what I do see? I see me and you getting ready to head to one of my favorite cities, Philadelphia. Can you see it, Quentin?
No, not yet.
Can you see the vision
I feel
now?
like it's popping up. There it is.
Yes, me and Quentin will be going to Philly Pleasure Weekend. I'm sorry for my flyer. Wait, nope.
Is that the wrong flyer?
No, it's the right one, but I need to actually get the other one. So give me a sec. But yeah, me and Quentin will be going to Pleasure Weekend. We are going to be doing media there for I think we have to discuss, but I'm pretty sure it's the entire weekend, depending on our schedules, of course.
Yeah.
But here we go.
It's going to be fun.
But we can definitely figure it out off camera. But can you see now?
It's not up right now.
Much better. Now I know you can see
it. Yep.
Yes. So Friday, April 24th, the Bad Boys Party. All the sexiest motherfuckers. Let me say all the, good-looking dudes, influencers, social media people. They're gonna be coming out. We're gonna be having a party. Then there's gonna be a block party Saturday, April 25th. Then I believe the epic main event. They're gonna have something going on April later on that night, that Saturday, and then that following Sunday, the final day party. Me and Quentin will be doing media, interviewing people. I think this is good. So
good networking.
Good networking. So if you're in the Philadelphia area and you see a 6'7", 6'8" man and a 5'5" dude, stop by. Let us talk to you. Let's chop it up. Let's network. The goal is to get this podcast bigger than what it already is. I want to keep pushing myself. We want to keep pushing ourselves. And we're honored to be invited to be a part of this. So I look forward to that. We'll keep you in the loop because we really want a good turnout. We want a lot of people to network with. And we want to just have a good time. We want to have a good time because I believe this is around the time of Philly's Pride. I might be wrong. When do they do Pride?
I'm pretty sure their Pride is later.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure their Pride is later.
Later. Oh well.
But still, it's gonna be. It's
still gonna be. Yeah, it's still gonna be good. Quentin, I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for joining me.
I hope I'm tuning in.
Yeah, I love the episode. This was real good and it was phenomenal, and I appreciate it. I hope everybody.
I was gonna add one more thing though too.
It's your show
Sorry
as well.
to cut you off.
Do what you want, bro.
I just want to say to the people out there though, if you have somebody in your life that you know personally who's dealing with addiction, or if you don't have anybody in your life who's dealing with addiction and you just see somebody on the street or out in the world who's dealing with addiction, please try to just have some compassion for that person. You know what I'm saying? Just know that they are dealing with a lot. And I know we have these preconceived notions about people who are addicts, ooh, they're dirty, ooh, they're nasty, ooh, they just need to be away from everybody and stuff. But just try to have some compassion for them. They're going through a lot. And also, one thing that we don't even talk about a lot is that all different types of people, not just different races, but all different people's different statuses of people are drug addicts. There are doctors right now, medical doctors who are drug addicts.
Yeah.
There are nurses, there are teachers, there are lawyers, there are it's not just, the homeless person on the street that you see. There are people in these big prestigious jobs that you don't even know have a drug problem too. They just are at a place right now where they're still able to manage it and maybe go to work or whatever. But it's some of everybody who is addicted. So just try to have compassion.
Yeah, have some compassion because you'll never know. That might be
Never
you
know.
one day doing some strange things on the sixth line, at 2 a.m. after, you know, going to see a late midnight movie. Um,
That sounds oddly suspicious. I mean, oddly specific.
nah, it wasn't. But I will, you know what is Pacific? Oddly Pacific? That you will catch us next week, next Monday at 6 p.m. on YouTube, Spotify.
Right.
Listen in on Spotify or see our handsome face. Quentin, tell the nice people, deuces.
Hey, everybody, I hope you have a beautiful week, and we will catch you the next time. Love y'all. Peace.